Hello, good evening and welcome to Ghana Tonight, coming to you live from our studio here at Adisawe Kanda in Accra. We are live also on our website 3news.com and on Facebook. Coming up tonight, the National Democratic Congress gears up to elect a parliamentary candidate for the September 30 by-election in Tamale Central. 12 candidates are in the race. Who will emerge victorious? Your election command center will be live on the ground in a jiffy. Also coming up, dramatic twist. Communications Minister Samuel Nate George says government will go ahead to suspend the license of DSTV if they are not ready to reduce their prices. How can this impasse be resolved while protecting subscribers? We'll be having a conversation on that as well. And later on the show, teachers, students, and invigilators found complicit in ongoing West Africa Senior School Certificate exam malpractice. How do we tackle this growing menace comprehensively? We'll be dealing with that particular subject also on the show this evening. The show is interactive and we always love to hear from you, so visit our social media platforms and do let your words be heard. Send us a message on Facebook, on Twitter, and on the YouTube where we are streaming so that we can let your comments also be heard by the rest of the world. This is Ghana Tonight. In the meantime though, let's bring you the other topical subjects making rounds in Ghana on Ghana Brief.
President John Mahama has pledged to work closely with the Ghana Journalists Association to restore Ghana's reputation as a model of press freedom, not only in West Africa, but across the continent. During a courtesy call by the GJA delegation, the president expressed concern about the country's consistent decline on the World Press Freedom Index. President Mahama also announced initiatives his government is embarking on to protect journalists.
We need to find a way of, one, ensuring that people, when they do that kind of thing, face sanctions or are punished. Because once there's no deterrent, they continue to do it. Or aside from that, to educate and create awareness that journalists are not enemies. They are reporting something that is happening. And so they must be given a free leverage to be able to do their reporting.
The Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, has appealed for a collective effort to sustain government's no-fees stress policy, a social intervention aiming to lift financial restrictions to tertiary education. He has proposed that 2.5% of all oil revenues be dedicated to funding the policy to avoid over-reliance on the annual budgets. At a stakeholder engagement on the program, the Education Minister touted the initiative as a major social intervention by the current government.
We must sustain the no-fee stress by all means possible and practicable. But I disagree that you should be at the mercy of budget. And my own notion and thinking is that Ghana should dedicate 2.5% of our oil revenue into supporting human capital. And that 2.5% of oil revenue should be dedicated to scholarships and bursaries. And the bursaries should deal with no-fee stress.
14 individuals, including teachers, students, and invigilators, have been arrested across the country for their alleged involvement in examination malpractices in the West African Senior School Certificate exams, WASSCE. The number is expected to rise as investigations continue. WAEC further cautioned that results from the affected schools will be subjected to thorough scrutiny. John Kapi is the head of public affairs at WAEC.
Monitoring teams have unearthed a series of irregular activities at a number of the examination centers. These include, but not limited to, the following. 2 persons were arrested for impersonation at Ghana College Kaswa. They were arraigned before court and have been sentenced to 6 months imprisonment each, while their accomplice was sentenced to 8 months imprisonment. The proprietor of Christian IPS Kukrantumi, as well as one of his invigilators, have been arrested for creating a WhatsApp group on which they shared snapshots of questions and solutions to the questions.
Following suspected movement of armed individuals along Ghana's northern borders, Ghana Army's Northern Command has undertaken long-range patrols along the Ghana-Burkina Faso-Togo borders. The patrols are aimed at strengthening national security and the protection of the northern frontiers. Colonel John Yao Kwatin is the Command Operations Officer of the Northern Command.
This place is forest, so normally the locals don't come here frequently. Because there is a problem in Burkina Faso, and some of them speak the language they speak. Sometimes they will want to make contact with them, either to buy items from them or even send them to buy things for them.
It certainly is a packed show, so do get interactive with us. Now, let's settle for the specific details we have for you this evening. We're starting from the camp of the National Democratic Congress, and clearly there's going to be a showdown in Tamale Central tomorrow because 12 candidates on one ticket. Who will take it and represent the good people of Tamale Central? Your Election Command Center has the full list of the members who have made it onto the ballot paper, and will be projecting that for you to also be in the know of who will be on the list. But barring any last-minute changes, the National Democratic Congress will tomorrow hold its parliamentary primary in the Tamale Central constituency to select a parliamentary candidate for September 30 by-election. You recall that the Tamale Central constituency became vacant following the unfortunate demise of late Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Doctor. 11 candidates will battle it out tomorrow. 12 will battle it out tomorrow. And in a jiffy, we'll let you see who is on the ballot paper. So at least you get to know if your candidate is there, will you be voting for that particular person, and what exactly are the dynamics on the ground as we speak. Our correspondent will be joining us to let us know what's happening right now. But these are the individuals whom we know are on the ballot paper. Lawyer Khalid Abdul Rauf, former Northern Regional Secretary of the NDC. Dr. Asiedu Mohammed Fita, he is a lecturer at the University of Development Studies, UDS. Also on the list, Abdul Rahman Gundado, who is a former mayor of Tamale. Professor Asiedu-Dartey, Executive Secretary, Water Resources Commission, and then also he's a lecturer as well. And then Hajia Mulika Saulisu. Again, the rest of the people on the list, we have Alhaji Alhassan Mbalba, Mariama Nana Salifu, Dr. Abdul Rahman Abdul Rashid, Dr. Aliu Abdul Hamid, and then we have Professor Abdul Razak Abubakar, and then Sadat Haruna Al-Hassan. In total, we know that there are 12. Also, the final person on the list is Abdul Hanan Gandagdo, who is the last on the list, making it 12 individuals vying to represent the NDC, the good people of Tamale Central in Parliament. Again, that will be after the primary on the 31st of September. Let's speak to Rashid Tanko Computer, who's joined us via Zoom. Certainly, I can bet that he probably might be in the constituency. I beg your pardon, Rashid Tanko, good evening, and thank you for your time. Would I be right to say you are in the constituency already?
Let me say good evening to you and your cherished viewers across the country.
What are preparations looking like ahead of tomorrow?
Very well. We are prepared for the elections tomorrow to elect our parliamentary candidate for the 30th September by-election. Indeed, 12 candidates were qualified after the vetting, which happened on 31st August. And then they were given green light to contest the primaries for tomorrow. I can assure you preparation is top-notch. Ballot papers have been printed. accreditation ready for the candidates and their supporters. Of course, people will be given observer status. They will be in the stadium to observe the process. A lot of security agencies, in fact, the police and military are called in. I mean, the police will take forefront in terms of handling the security for tomorrow by-election. So for now, in fact, today, my colleague, Mahdi Jibril, who is also a Deputy Director of Election, is leading the team in Tamale. He had a meeting, a very fruitful meeting, with all the 12 candidates, with the security agents to address their grievances, if should there be any. I can tell you and assure the whole country that it was very peaceful, and they all agreed to the roadmap for the election tomorrow. Right. So tomorrow we are ready for the election.
All right. Hold on for me, because we know that ahead of tomorrow's all-important event, the police have been addressing the media in terms of security preparations. We're told about 400 officers have been deployed to ensure a peaceful process. Let's listen to what exactly they have been telling the media. Then we can come back to you, Mr.
Now we are going to search and find out if they have implements that they can use to cause mayhem. Officers, you have to be firm. In view of that, we are deploying 400 personnel for this exercise. These 400, we think, is sufficient to man the gates, all the gates, and then within the inner perimeter. We are going to secure all the corners such that we can safeguard against some of these acts of misconduct.
Right, so that's the officer telling the media in terms of, or by extension, the entire country, how preparations for security has been made. But what do you make of the fact that 400 officers have been deployed for an internal, process? Wouldn't that be a bit too much, you think?
No, I don't think so. You see, the exercise we are going to do tomorrow is tantamount to electing a parliamentary a parliamentarian for the constituency. Clearly, whoever emerges tomorrow will have his seat in parliament. I mean, the general, this in the 30th of September is just going to be a formality. Of course, I can assure you, so the police are not leaving any stone unturned, because they know that the exercise we are going to do is more or less just like what would be happening on the 30th of September. I can even foresee us not having election on the 30th of September because whoever we pick tomorrow will eventually be declared as a winner on 30th of September. The Electoral Commission will have no exercise to conduct, I can assure you, because our main opponent says they are not coming. And then, so if our main opponent says they are not coming, who can come in and then offset us in this election? No. Our main opponents fear defeat. They know that Tamale will give them a heavy blow. So that's why they chicken out earlier. So definitely, if the police relax and said, oh, well, it's just an internal election, they shouldn't forget that we are going to elect a parliamentarian tomorrow, because whoever emerges is likely to go to parliament unopposed come September 30th. So they have to make sure that it's properly protected. Don't forget, we are dealing with about 1,551 delegates tomorrow. So we have a very large delegates. And the constituency has a very large voter population. So imagine all these delegates coming into the constituency, this in the center, to cast their ballot. And then the party supporters also coming in as observers. So 400 is not any big number. Looking at the number of people we're expecting in the stadium.
Right. And, I don't know how you will take this, but, on the back of the fact that the NDC needed to get someone to go to Parliament to represent the people of Tamale Central, many were quite surprised at the numbers that showed up. because of the demise of Honorable Dr. Murtala Mohammed, many actually thought that very few people would just show out of solidarity, probably just 2 or 3 people, so that the party can choose from. But 11, 12, we are told now, is quite a number. Do you not agree?
Well, this rather shows a mark of confidence in the governance of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. I mean, people are now very much attracted to the NDC based on our performance. For the 8 months we've been in government, our performance is top-notch, and it has inured to the benefit of the larger populace of this country. And then so everybody wants to be part of this reset agenda of the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So we are not surprised. It's a mark of confidence. It has given us confidence that whatever we are doing, people are satisfied and they want to be part of it. It's a mark of confidence because hitherto previously you would have seen 2, 3 people only contesting, but now you have everybody think that, look, I want to join this government. I want to be part of this government. Even if you look at the area of people who are contesting, that will tell you that from academia, from the social sector, economic sector, and all that, they are all part of it. They are showing confidence in the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So we think that it's a mark of confidence on our government.
Right. And then maybe finally, before you take leave of us, what do you make of suggestions that since it is a one-horse race, clearly, why wouldn't tomorrow be the D-Day? Then after tomorrow, you probably would just let the Electoral Commission know that there will be no need to expend resources for the September 30 event. So, it just follows through from tomorrow that whoever emerges winner would then just go through the necessary protocols in Parliament, be sworn in, and then we'll get back to normal business. Would the EC have to still come to the constituency, conduct or go through the process we know in terms of electing an MP?
Well, that's why I'm saying that is why the police have taken interest in our primaries tomorrow. And then they are deploying these 400 men to come and make sure that we have a seamless, faultless exercise tomorrow. I mean, they know that whoever emerges tomorrow will definitely will be confirmed on the 30th of September. I can assure you, I know my people in Tamale. I know them. I've been in Tamale. I've stayed in Tamale for most of my life. So I know them. Tamale people are decent people. They are very respectable people. I mean, they are lovely people, hospitable people, and they know the situation we have found ourselves. So if we elect a parliamentary candidate tomorrow, I don't think anybody will want to come out to contest that candidate again come 30th. Right. I know my people in Tamale. They are very respectful. And then so with this, whoever emerges tomorrow, definitely the EC will have an easy task comes 30th September. It is just going to be a declaration. There will not be any election because our main opponent, whom we thought would have contested, they are not coming. So if they are not coming, who is coming again? Exactly. I mean, so I don't expect anybody to come as an independent. The person would have been wasting his or her time completely. Okay. Because knowing my people in Tamale, this is not a time nobody will want to go wasting his time on independent, or something like that. So definitely tomorrow, whoever emerges, I can assure you, 30th September will just be a declaration. Okay.
Rashid Tanko Computer, pleasure talking to you as always. Thank you for your time. He is the Deputy Director of Elections, the NDC, and clearly just giving us a hint that all is well in terms of the leadership's preparation for tomorrow's exercise. But let's speak to Christopher Makun, our correspondent in the region, to give us an idea what exactly is happening on the ground. Are all these 12 individuals trying to lobby people to vote for them out of that 1,151 registered members on the ticket of in the registers of the NDC who are going to be nominating one of the 12 contestants? So, Chris, good evening. Thank you for joining us, Christopher Marco. So, paint a picture for us. What exactly is happening in the constituency?
Yes, so Martin, I must say that so far, so very good when it comes to the comportment levels of the people. The 12 aspirants are going about doing their campaign. Everybody is meeting a delegate or delegates to ensure that they get their full support ahead of tomorrow. some of them, I must say, are also camping some delegates at some vantage points to talk to them and also ensure that they understand their message ahead of tomorrow. I have just passed a moment ago, past the Tamale Sports Stadium, that is Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium, where the election will be taking place tomorrow. And I can confirm to you that everything is set, security is tight, and some security police vehicles were spotted around that area patrolling the enclave. And so I must say that security-wise too, everything is in place because the police have indicated that they have some 400 personnel who will be stationed to monitor this election tomorrow to ensure that everything turns out peacefully. And so far, I must say that so very good. So earlier today, the party met with all the 12 aspirants to discuss with them the modalities and the need for them to comport themselves in this election.
Right. And Chris, I'm sure you've also been interacting with not just the candidates who've expressed interest. You've also been speaking to some of the leadership of the party, the executives. What are some of the things that are pressing for them as they prepare for tomorrow?
Yeah, so basically what they are saying is that they should look at the person that the late member of parliament was, someone who is peace-loving, someone whose intention has always been to unite the party in the constituency. And so they believe that all the 12 aspirants and their supporters will ensure that tomorrow's election turns out peacefully. I have been engaging the communication director for Tamale Central. Let's take a listen to what he's been saying.
All the party actors, the contestants and their supporters should conduct themselves well. Comradeship. Tomorrow is not about war, it's about decision making for us to find a replacement for our beloved late MP, Comrade Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed.
Right. So, yes, Chris, we've just heard the executive there confirming that they are also ready and are cautioning the 12 candidates to be, respectful of at least the memory of Dr. Murtala Mohammed. But finally, to you, what should our viewers expect from you in terms of coverage and the mood in town ahead of tomorrow? Is it a popular conversation that tomorrow there's going to be an election, or really and truly people are just passive about it?
Yes, so Martin, I can confirm to you that people are aware that tomorrow there's going to be an election at the Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium. For the media general, it's always for people to trust their election command center that we are going to bring them nothing but the best because we have everything in place to ensure that tomorrow's coverage is going to be something that our viewers will get a feel of. And to also talk about the anticipation level of the people, especially the delegates, I must also say that the delegates are also waiting to have a replacement of their late member of parliament, because we all do know that whoever wins this primaries tomorrow, in a way, 90% is going to be the member of parliament. That is, if we don't see any independent candidates filing, because the opposition party has indicated that they are not contesting in this election.
All right, Christopher Mwako, thank you so much. And certainly, like you indicated, our viewers and listeners on 3FM 92.7 will be tuned in to get full coverage of the development in the Tamale Central constituency tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Christopher Mwako is our Northern Regional correspondent. This is still Ghana Tonight, live on our website 3news.com, and we are streaming on Facebook as well. So do let your messages come in. I can see some of you already commenting. And the big one now on the table for us to discuss is the debacle between the Ministry of Communication and DSTV, which is one of the agencies run by MultiChoice. So what exactly is going to be happening? We have heard the minister speak about the fact that there have been negotiations and conversations about some price reduction. But in the last few hours, we have been seeing something contrary to what the minister told the Ghanaian people. So we will definitely delve into it to find out how can we resolve this particular issue going forward. What kind of picture is it painting about the country, especially on the international platforms or international community? What exactly is the issue here? Let's go straight to that presser that happened earlier today where the Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Asiedu-Dartey George, told the country that the NDCA will go ahead to suspend the license of DSTV in Ghana if they are not ready to reduce their prices. This follows reports that the MultiChoice Group has not agreed to reduce their prices as earlier announced by the minister. So let's listen to the minister and we can subject it to some analysis.
Ahead of the expiration of the suspension notice tomorrow, MultiChoice yesterday reached out to the ministry and the regulator, indicating now a willingness to comply to address the pricing concerns through a consultative process as was adopted by the ministry with the MNOs during the data pricing reduction exercise. The committee has a strict 14-day mandate, inclusive of weekends, to conclude its work and present a suitable price reduction structure for the people of Ghana by the 21st of September 2025. The NCA still has the mandate to ensure that they collect what is due from the fines that we imposed on MultiChoice for the almost 24 days before they provided the information that they did not provide the information.
So that is the Honourable Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, Asiedu-Dartey George. He's also a Minister in charge of Communication, and that was a few hours ago earlier today when he updated more or less the country about what the conversations have been between the government and MultiChoice, or DSTV for that matter. A few hours later, there are different reports emerging which suggest that MultiChoice may not have exactly agreed to the price reduction, as we just heard the minister say. And on the back of that, the minister has also been reacting to the reports making rounds from DSTV. And on your screens now, we're going to bring you what exactly the minister has been saying. He says, "Let me be clear. I have no intention to continue tolerating the disrespect to Ghanaians by DSTV. If MultiChoice is not interested, as they claim in their last statement, in discussing a reduction in price as they had indicated to me, we would proceed to effect the shutdown tomorrow as indicated." DSTV indicated their willingness to engage the ministry on its concerns on pricing and prayed us to stay our enforcement action. If they have changed their position, then we simply would enforce the regulatory action. No company is above the law. When MultiChoice is ready to discuss price reduction, they can come to the negotiation table. Until then, there is nothing for us to meet over. The National Communications Authority Ghana would carry out enforcement. Ghana is open for businesses that respect our laws and institutions. So those are the words of the Honourable Minister Asiedu-Dartey George, following some reports, especially on social media, and they seem to give a contrary position. That's DSTV and MultiChoice. And so the minister has responded. So we are going with what the minister has said. Clearly means that tomorrow there's going to be some showdown in Little Ghana, not Little Tokyo, Little Ghana. We'll find out what exactly will be happening tomorrow. But let's pick the thoughts of, someone who's also been monitoring this particular issue for us. Apia Kusi Adumako is a director of the West Africa Regional Center for Cuts International, and he's joined us via Zoom for a conversation on this. A very good evening to you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good evening, and good evening to your viewers.
What would your initial thoughts be on the back and forth? We'll probably come to the specifics of what we are hearing this evening, the reports that are emerging, but on the generality of it, that a minister would come out to say that backroom conversations with a multinational like MultiChoice and DSTV for that matter does not seem to be going according to plan, and it has become a national conversation. How does this come to you?
Okay, so I think if what the minister said is something to trust, which we all would believe the minister, that there has been a backroom conversation and there has been the indication by the operator to review the tariffs and 2 weeks technical committee to look at it. And just after the meeting, release comes out. In fact, I've been searching online. I've checked the multi-choice social media handle, and I'm not finding the message from it could be that it's coming from a fake document. This is weekend, Friday evening. We hope by midday tomorrow, if this statement is false, we would expect the company to issue a disclaimer and then be able to continue with the minister and the government with regards to the reduction as it was stated during the press conference.
This seems to have largely been one-sided, wouldn't you agree? That it has always taken, what we do usually here will be the minister updating us on what conversations have been had. For instance, it started with the fact that Ghanaians wanted a price reduction. The minister promised and said that he was going to have that conversation with multi-choice. And they did. He came to say that they are agreeing to play ball, and he gave them a timeline. That was later, extended because they had come again to ask for more time. And the minister even brought evidence to show that across the sub-region, and even other countries not within the West African sub-region, DSTV pricing in Ghana was quite on the high if you compare it to other countries. So he was definitely going to ask for them to drive down these prices. What would your position be in advising DSTV, for instance? Should they also speak to the people and let us hear their side rather than probably just press statements that leave more questions than answers?
I think the press statement is good than to do a press conference. A press conference, you open yourself to every journalist to ask you questions, and sometimes whatever you say, something that you say can be twisted and misconstrued. But if you issue a press statement of your intention and the issues, I think that it is sufficient in this regard. It's a business, and they want to also make sure that they don't get a bad press. Some journalists coming to this press conference could come to ask questions that requires you to maybe, if you don't manage your emotions well, you may even flare up, and it can cause something else. So it's better for the company to do so with the press release, as they have been doing all the time. And this is also a difficult time for the company, and I'm sure they are trying to tie all loose ends before they come out to make any progress.
Where does that leave the subscribers who are in the middle of this conversation? What happens to us if tomorrow, for instance, you are, like you indicated, hopefully by midday we'll get to have better clarity as to whether the statement from DSTV is false or is fake or is not true or probably is true. Then there's the likelihood of a shutdown, as the minister has promised. We only wait to see. But shouldn't we be part of the conversation, the subscribers, I mean?
Yes, I think for what the minister said, tomorrow is going to be the day that they're going to turn off the killer switch that shuts down the transmission of multi-choice services in the country. And for most subscribers and consumers in the country who have paid their subscription, some of them have paid their subscription a year in advance, and they are looking to watch multi-choice, the UPL, the Champions League, whatever. But if it goes off, that also. But sometimes I think that there can be no great gain with that. It's accompanied pain. For consumers to be able to enjoy some relief in the long run, medium to long term, some of these the actions by the minister or the government is also necessary to be able to let the operators know that the government also has powers under the law to take rule-based actions against regulatory violations and non-compliance.
And finally, would you advise, for instance, that we probably need by now a few more players in the space, because it looks as though DSTV has monopolized or have been the biggest player when it comes to extraterrestrial television in the country? Isn't it about time, 2025, that we have other players also coming in and offering services? Then that in itself can beat down the price, which has become the bone of contention, no?
Yes, that is true. But the only challenge is that most subscribers of satellite TV, what attracts them is the football content. And unfortunately, the licensing for football, whether the Champions League, the EPL, or whatever, is given to one company under exclusivity contract in Africa. So we can have about 20 pay TV companies in Ghana. And if you are not getting the Champions League or the football, the EPL, nobody is going to subscribe to your network. So if we want to bring about competition in the market, then we also need to address the exclusivity of the licensing. And I want also to suggest to the Minister of Communication to also work with its fellow African communication ministers, and to also to be able to look at this at the continental level. Because if this essential content is given to one company, that gives the company a lot of leverage, and they can use it to dominate the market. Because of this, there has not been any incentive for any company to come into the pay TV market. Some years ago, we had a company that came and then they left because they were not getting enough revenue, because people who are buying, multi-choice, people want to watch the football match. That is what drives them a lot. So if you are not getting access to the football, you're not going to pay any subscription. You rather want to use the pay TV that gives, that gives you a minimal content. So we need to address that. Once we're able to address that, I'm sure that the market will be contestable, and we will have new entrants coming to the market to compete.
Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Apia Kusi Adomako, Director of West African Regional Center of CATS International. So you at home, you the viewer, you the subscriber, would also have to share your thoughts with us, and we are always happy to hear you speak on a number of the issues we discuss here on Ghana Tonight. Do let us hear it on our various social media pages. We'll share it with the rest of the world. This is still Ghana Tonight, live from our studio here at Asiedu-Dartey in Accra. When we return from this break, we'll be talking education, because the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination has actually been on an arrest spree. Teachers, students, invigilators who have been complicit in examination malpractice have been arrested. Many more, we are told, are on the run. That is our next discussion when we return from this. Stay with us. This is Ghana Tonight. Welcome back to Ghana Tonight on TV3. We are live around the world on 3news.com and streaming on Facebook as well. Thank you for being a part of the show. I've seen your messages. We'll be reading, hopefully we'll read some of them before the show comes to an end. But let's do education now, because 14 individuals, including teachers, students and invigilators, have been arrested across the country for their alleged involvement in examination malpractice in the West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination, the WASSCE. Now, the number is expected to rise as investigations continue. WAEC further cautioned that results from the affected schools will be subjected to thorough scrutiny. John Kapi is the head of public affairs for WAEC, and he's been speaking on this issue. Let's hear what exactly he has to say. Then we'll delve into, finding out how really can we get to the bottom of this concerning issue.
Monitoring teams have unearthed a series of irregular activities at a number of the examination centers. These include, but not limited to, the following. 1. 2 persons were arrested for impersonation at Ghana College, Kaswa. They were arraigned before court and have been sentenced to 6 months imprisonment each, while their accomplice was sentenced to 8 months imprisonment. The proprietor of Christian IPS Kukrantumi, as well as one of his invigilators, have been arrested for creating a WhatsApp group on which they shared snapshots of questions and solutions to the questions. They have been handed over to the police for further investigations. Ebenezer Finn was arrested at St. Vincent College, Abradunkwa, for impersonation. He has also been arraigned before court. Hannah Lariba, a student of Yeji Senior High School, was arrested for impersonation at the Steps to Destiny Senior High School in Yeji. Another impersonator, Mumni Abdul Hafiz, bolted before the monitoring team could apprehend him. Mr. Kodua Desmond was arrested at Abbott College, Asante Bekwai. He was handed over to the police and subsequently arraigned before court. He has been remanded into police custody for 2 weeks. Osei Asiedu-Dartey was arrested at Echima Kwanwuma Presbyterian SHS for impersonation. He has been handed over to the police. Raymond Kwasi was arrested at Echima Kwanwuma Presbyterian SHS for contracting Osei Asiedu-Dartey to write the examination on behalf of Obin Dapa Emmanuel. Maxwell Chamba and Amaglo Livingston were arrested at Sefa Bonsu Royal SHS EG for impersonation.
Right, so that's John Kapi, the Public Affairs Director for WAEC. Now, let's get to the specifics now. This is an age-old challenge that our education system has been facing, and we want to find solutions to it. Let's speak to the Executive Director for the Institute for Education, that is Dr. Peter Pate Ante. He's joined us via Zoom for a quick chat. Doc, good evening and thank you for your time.
Good evening, Martin.
This will be the umpteenth time you and I, or we here at Media General, have interacted with you or engaged you on issues of examination malpractice. Well, this time around, it looks as though WAEC has been proactive in going after the perpetrators. Fortunately, they've been able to catch some of them. Some of them are standing trial. But generally, what does this mean, to the fight against this unfortunate development when it comes to our education?
Well, I think that WAEC is being proactive, as you said. In previous years, WAEC would have taken a defensive posture when it comes to examination malpractice. You would see a banter between us and WAEC. But for some, in recent times, you will see that WAEC is now leading the charge in dealing with examination malpractice. It is interesting to note that people who have been arrested for examination malpractice are undergoing criminal prosecution and other things. And I think that it's a good sign for those who are about to or who are planning to engage in this. It's a good sign for them to rethink that decision. And to that extent, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Where exactly is the problem? Is it parents? Is it students? Is it the schools? Because across board, it seems all these stakeholders have a role to play, or is it probably the officials that invigilate or take part in preparing for these exams? Where exactly do we locate the problem?
So if you take this to the research side, you wouldn't be able to pinpoint a particular stakeholder that is responsible for this malpractice. You have multiple stakeholders: teachers, parents, students themselves, school authorities. Everybody is involved, and that is why I think we have to institute multiple approaches in dealing with this. So the prosecution aspect is very important for those that are caught. I think that in the event that teachers are involved, the teachers, after reporting them to GES, I think they should go a step further and report them to NTC. I have been saying this for some time now, because one of the things that you wouldn't want to do, like any other profession, is to lose your license. And if WAEC takes this step and reports one or two teachers to NTC, and NTC walks them through the disciplinary process and revoke their license, then the teacher side will now sit up. Because if you are even imprisoned, I think they go in for 6 months, or sometimes they are fined, and they get back to the classroom. Some of them are getting substantial amount of money in undertaking this activity, and that money is enough compensation for them. So you have to institute multiple punishment to ensure that those involved are dealt with. Again, it's important that WAEC are proactive, like they are doing with the SDA school, for example, because you don't wait for them to go through all the process, then you say that you're going to vet their scripts. So immediately you suspect and you think you have enough evidence, you move the students from the center. And that is also another approach that we can use. People are talking about the use of CCTV cameras. I think it is also good for us to do. But one of the things that I think WAEC need to now step up their game is their sensitization process. I think that the model of sensitization they've done over the years have not been productive, because they meet teachers, they meet community leaders, they meet religious leaders in the event that they are going to write the exams. They tell them about this malpractice and ask them to preach about it. But still, we are seeing an escalation of that. And in times like this, I think they have to make good use of the media, both traditional, social media. They need to now make good use of it. So, for example, we all know that when you have unprotected sex, you are likely to contract HIV/AIDS. But then when the country decided that this is becoming a menace, this is becoming a burden on us, we waged a media war against HIV/AIDS, and that is what WAEC needs to do now. 3 to 4 months before the exams, I think that WAEC should start airing some of these things that we are recording now. Documentaries about malpractice, punishment that have been handed out to the students, skits, and all those things. Use the social media platform, Facebook, TikTok, to communicate to the general public, because this is a societal problem. You don't isolate only students and say you are meeting them. You don't isolate only teachers and say you are meeting them. This is supposed to be something that everybody needs to get involved. So you design well-crafted messages, skits, videos, short documentaries, and other things, and constantly and consistently play it across all media platforms. And let's see how impactful this is also going to be. So I am advocating for a shift in the model of sensitization that WAEC has been using over the years, because they have been doing that meetings and it's not yielding any results. So we need to now shift and move into a preventive mood rather than waiting till the issues happen, and then we would all be on that. Yes,
this is quite concerning, and even raises concerns about our values as a people, doesn't it? Because clearly, like you indicated, this is a societal problem. We all live in the society, so you probably would know a teacher or a student or a parent or probably a school owner that is undertaking this kind of malpractice. Generally, are you confident that if we start the public education and we drum it home consistently over time, we probably will start seeing some positive outcomes?
Yes, because I think that those who engage in malpractice, they all don't have the same risk level. there are those who will be risk lovers, there are those who will be risk averse, and there are those who will be risk neutral. Mostly, those who are risk averse would be a little bit taken aback when they see the impact, the effect of the decisions that they are going to take in the exams room, the effect that is going to, what the end result will be. They would minimize that. So that proactive media sensitization might not eliminate all the issues of malpractice, but it will go a long way to reduce it. And then we add all the other interventions that we are doing, serialization of the questions, ensuring that invigilators and supervisors are paid well, and then also using the CCTV if they have the resource to do that, and then taking those who are caught to face the law, cancelling papers. We should use all the multiplicity of interventions that we have, including an intense media campaign 3-4 months to the exams. And I think if we are able to do this, we will reduce this to the barest minimum. And I agree with you that the sanctity, the reliability, the validity of our exams and certification is under threat. And if you are not careful, very soon the universities will start advocating for entrance examination and interviews and other things. And I don't think we would want to, reduce the value of the WASI certificate or the grades that students get when they sit for their BC. So we need to go all out. The Ministry of Education should lead a charge with the public campaign, because it is something that is that is definitely affecting the quality of education as a country.
Dr. Peter Pateanti, thank you so much for your thoughts and the work you do for Ghana's education sector. He is the Executive Director for the Institute of Education Studies, IFEST, and has been sharing his thoughts, just like many of you have been sharing on how we can nip this canker in the bud. It is affecting the quality of results, and it hurts that you will learn, and because of someone's folly, it affects the cancellation or probably affects you and the final outcome of your results. Let's fight it together as a country. And on the back of that, we want to say a big thank you for joining us on the show. Mind you, tomorrow, 7 a.m. on the dot, Alfredo Kanse will be coming with his guest experts on key points. The key points will be on air, 7 a.m. And these are the gentlemen who Alfred will be chatting with on many national conversations. Issues regarding the removal of the Chief Justice was topical this week. Is it a mere witch hunt or a justifiable cause of action? Again, they'll be talking about the Akwatia by-election results. Is it time for the NPP to reset? It's interesting whether the word reset now belongs to either party or for one person. So yes, the conversation about the new patriotic party will also be topical. And then also, who wins the NDC's Tamale Central parliamentary primary? We indicated your election command center will definitely be keeping you posted as and when the developments do happen. So make a date, 7 a.m. here on TV3. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with us. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late?
Of course.
712 hash, 712 hash. Yeah, he go fit be the luckiest. Go fit from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Hey, you go fit be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go fit be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the Son of Man be. Hey. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.